Hare Krishna. Our caliber is seen not just when we give our best, but also when life gives its worst. Suppose there is a sports player, say a cricketer, a batsman, and sometimes batsmen are in form and they can give their best, and when they can bat in a flow, their performance may be dazzling, and that dazzling performance indicates the caliber of the batsman. But the caliber is also tested in an opposite circumstance, not just when they are in form, but also when the pitch is terrible, when the ball is bouncing unevenly, when the pitch has devils in it. At that time, the grit, the determination, the sharpness of the batsman is tested, and the top batsmen are considered those not just who can perform superbly when they are in form, but also those who can survive stoically on terrible pitches. Similarly, in our lives, when we go through life, our caliber is tested not just when we are in a flow doing our best. It is also tested when life gives us its worst. Often when we are in flow, it is our material talents and the coming together of the circumstances for those material talents to manifest, that is at work. But when life gives us its worst, our talents don't help. It is at that time what we need is our spiritual substance. And this was what the test that Arjuna had to face just before the Kurukshetra war. Now, his highest point as an archer, he was a champion archer, and the top performance that he gave was after the Pandavas emerged from the exile. At that time, he single-handedly in the battle of Virat fought against the whole Kuru army and bested all of them. That was when he gave his best, and he emerged as the super excellent archer for whom no superlatives were enough. But then, just before the Kurukshetra war, life tested him in the worst possible way. When he had fought at Virat, he just wanted to defeat the Kauravas and teach them a lesson. But when the Kurukshetra battle was taking place, at that time he knew that this was a battle to the death. And the prospect of killing his own venerable elders, like his grandsire Bhishma and his martial teacher Drona, these just overwhelmed him. And life gave him its worst. He was completely overwhelmed. The attack in this case came not from an enemy with arrows. The attack in this case came internally through confusion. And Arjuna was overwhelmed at that time. In 1.28 he says in the Bhagavad-gita, Drishtve mam svajanam Krishna yutsum samupasthitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyate. He says vepatuscha shari. He says that actually when I am seeing my loved ones over here, Drishtve mam svajanam Krishna yutsum samupasthitam, when I am seeing them ready to fight, determined to fight till death, sidanti mama gatrani, my limbs are trembling, mukham cha parishusyati, my mouth is drying up. And he describes further symptoms in the next verse, vepatuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate gandivam sramsate hastat tvakchaiva paridayate. So he says vepatuscha sharire me, that actually my whole body is trembling, roma harshascha jayate, that actually my the hair are standing at their end. Gandivam sramsate hastat, that the bow is slipping from my hand. Tvakchaiva paridayate, and my skin is burning. So all these are symptoms of great emotional trauma that a person is going through. So what happened at this time? When he was overwhelmed like this, he turned towards Krishna. He recognized that I need spiritual help, and he took shelter of Krishna by seeking the wisdom of the Gita, and the wisdom of the Gita helped him to restore his morale. And eventually he fought the war and won the war. He won the war by using his archery skills, but he won the inner war against confusion by the knowledge of the Bhagavad-gita. Sometimes when we are very talented in our life and we are in a flow, we may think, I don't need the spiritual stuff, I don't need God. But we should know that we will not always be in a flow. Sometimes we may give our best, and sometimes life may give us its worst. And we need to be prepared for those situations when life gives us its worst. And the way to prepare for that is by strengthening our spiritual substance, by knowing that we are at our core souls and we are always loved by the Supreme Soul Krishna. And whether we are able to perform or not, our self-worth does not depend on that. Our self-worth depends on our connection with Krishna. So by bhakti practice, when we develop that connection with Krishna and gain security and self-worth through our connection with Krishna, then we will be able to grow through life even when life gives us its worst. And when we give our best, we won't get materially infatuated, but we will become spiritually illumined, seeing that best as an offering of devotion to the Lord who has given us these gifts. Thank you. Hare Krishna.